Wow, good afternoon, and thank you, Principal Doran, Principal Thomas, Assistant Superintendent Narvaez, all of the distinguished guests, leaders, teachers, parents, family members, and friends of the Patriot Class of 2012. Congratulations, 2012. I also want to acknowledge Adam and Julie and Megan and Lucas for their leadership and service to this class, to this school, and to their community. Thank you for all that you do and all that you'll do in the future, I know. Adam tried really hard to have me lay out my presentation so that the senior signers will be successful in their interpretation. And what happens with me is I sometimes start switching things out midway through. So good luck to the senior signers. Wow, this is really an honor, but mostly it's really fun. It's fun because of the energy that is being created here. The energy that is created at the end of a very significant journey that I think Megan and Julie and Principal Doran has articulated so well. And that journey was all of yours, with a lot of people playing a big role in it. But now you're young adults, and you've completed this phase. And a new journey begins. And this journey is all yours. And the cool thing is, you don't have to know your final destination. The journey is half the fun. But you do have to prepare yourself for the journey. And I want to give you a couple of thoughts that might sound contradictory and might make you think a little bit differently. Because I think thinking differently about who you are, what you want to be, and the impact you want to make on the world is important. I like to tell a story about my son Thomas, who's class of 2012 in another school district. And when he was 8 years old, he loved baseball. He ate, drank, and slept baseball. He always had a ball, a bat, or a mitt in his hand. One night we were barbecuing, and he was in the backyard, and he said, "Daddy," he said, "I'm the world's greatest hitter." He throws the ball in the air, and he swung with all of his might. Swoosh, he missed. He yells up, "Strike one, Daddy." With great determination, he throws the ball in the air. Full concentration, he swings, and I know a window's going to break. Swish. "Strike two, Daddy." And the third time's a charm. He throws the ball in the air, and as hard as he can, he swings. I'm waiting for the crash, and he missed. "Strike three, Daddy." He said, "I'm the world's greatest pitcher, too." And I want you to think differently about you. And always challenge yourself in every circumstance to know that you're looking at things from all angles. But in order to do that, now is the time at the beginning of your journey for you to take care of yourself. And I know that you have been taught, and rightfully so, to serve community, to serve your neighbors. More than 1,000 hours of service. Incredible. Congratulations. But now is the time for you to serve yourself, to form yourself, to be the best you that you can be. Have you ever gone on a trip on a plane and the flight attendant, she says, "Look to where your nearest exit is. Make sure that your seatbelt is on. And if the cabin experiences a loss of air pressure, an oxygen mask will fall. If the person next to you needs assistance, put your oxygen mask on first, and then help the person sitting next to you." It makes sense. Put your oxygen mask on first, so that throughout your lives, you're best positioned to help the person next to you that needs assistance. And it doesn't mean you can't help people today, because you do. But now is the time for you to be selfish. Now is the time for you to take advantage of being a young adult who's ready to grow, who's ready to be all that you can be. And the other thought that I want to share with you about thinking differently is your parents, your teachers, so many people let you know that you are the leadership of the future. But I want to challenge that as well. And I learned this lesson from a young man who was presenting to a group of us at the White House, and his name was Ellie Flores. And Ellie grew up in LA in a gang environment, and he broke out of that gang environment, and now he is serving others. But what he taught me one afternoon is that you are the leaders of the now. And he was always a little bit dismayed that people would be dismissive of the contributions that a young person can make today as a leader. And so that's, as a leader tonight, when you're out and about and you influence your friends to do the right things, through college, your involvement at your university, if you join the military, you could be leading missions at a very young age in a very serious situation. You are the leaders of the now. And that comes with great responsibility. And as I hear all of the accomplishments of this class, you're ready for it. So they kind of contrast. Put your oxygen mask on and you are the leaders of the now. They go hand in hand, and they will throughout your lives. I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was the youngest of 8 children. And I have an older sister who is blind as well. And I always like to say that my parents made all the mistakes on raising a young blind child on her. But throughout my childhood, I had a lot of experiences that taught me a great deal. And even though those lessons maybe didn't hit home then, they've stuck with me. And one of the most important ones took place when I was in 5th grade. And I was the only 5th grader who started on the 5th and 6th grade football team. You see, I started losing my vision in 3rd grade, and my eyes continued to deteriorate. And midway through that season, something happened. I lost my starting position. So I handled it. I quit. And I remember so well that night talking to my dad in the garage while he was tinkering at his workbench. And he said, "Jim, quitters never win and winners never quit. Quitters never win and winners never quit." The song, "Going the Distance, I Will Not Accept Defeat. Going the distance, my journey I shall complete," that was sung early in this program. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. I went on to college to study engineering at Purdue University, and after my freshman year, I couldn't find a job. It was okay. I was 19 years old. I had a great summer. But after my sophomore year, I knew I needed some experience. And my dad went to his company, who had a program for college students of employees that they could get at least one summer opportunity, except for they couldn't figure out the right opportunity for the blind engineering student at Purdue. Until my dad went in and advocated. I didn't know the word advocate. I thought he just pounded on some human resources person's table. And I got a job as a janitor. And I worked really hard, and I learned that every job matters. Because in every job that we do, somebody else is counting on you to deliver with excellence. And after my junior year, I struggled again, and I wanted some professional experience. So I figured it out. I worked for free. And I was able to turn that into 3 hours of general engineering credit. but I got some experience. And I knew now I'm on my way. I had a great GPA. I had some experience. My senior year came, I interviewed with 50 companies, and I got 50 rejection letters. My classmates were getting 3 and 4 offers. And finally, after I graduated, I got offers from AT&T and IBM. So it took the big companies to take the shot on me. But I'm lucky, because 7 out of 10 people who are blind don't work today. And I've been employed throughout my entire career. But those lessons of stick-to-itiveness and tenacity, and the lessons of the importance of work and your contributions have stuck with me. So today I'm the President and CEO of Goodwill Industries International. And you know Goodwill by one of the 2,700 stores throughout the country. You may or may not know Goodwill by our mission, which really revolves around the power of work and working with people within communities so that they can achieve their full potential. But that experience that I had at 21, which to me at that stage was just frustrating, is an important element of why I'm so passionate about the work I do today. So think about it for yourselves. Every experience that you have now will play a part in how you think about things tomorrow. And tomorrow is important. If you think about this century and where you are in it, you are the century shapers. When you're in your full stride of your lives and your careers, it'll be in the heart of the 21st century. And if you think about the 1900s or the 20th century came in with the tape recorder, the first trial of the transatlantic telegraph, the Wright brothers getting an airplane to fly. And you think about later in that century with Henry Ford figuring out how to mass produce automobiles, the development of the highway system, social mobility was created. The start of the computer, and yes, the start of the internet. When you were born, many of your parents weren't using email. But at the start of your century, you have Facebook. You have an iPhone. Who would have thought you'd have millions of bytes of data 20 years ago in something that you carry in the palm of your hand? The change is exponential. We went from the beginning of the 20th century, where the first half only 15% of people flew commercially, to now where 85% of people fly commercially, and the start of this century launched commercial space travel. The change is exponential. And what does that mean, exponential? Think about it. If I were to walk 30 linear steps outside of falling off the stage, I would be 60 feet away from where I am right now. But change is happening exponentially. And if you were to take 30 exponential steps, where would you be? Can you imagine? Exponential. Your first step is 2 feet. The next one is 2 times 2, 4 feet. The next one is 4 times 4, 16. The next one is 16 times 16. Where do you think you'd be? Can you imagine? London? The middle of the Pacific Ocean? You'd be around the world 26 times. And that is the speed of change that you're stepping into as you move forward in your lives. And so that's why I implore you to put your oxygen mask on now. Prepare yourself to be the best that you can be so you can have the greatest impact in the world that you want to be a part of throughout your lives. Know that you are also the leadership of the now. And recognize that you'll be successful if you have a stick-to-itiveness, a tenacity, and a willingness to persevere through both your successes and your failures. So take a minute to read the safety card on the back of the seat in front of you and enjoy this flight. Enjoy your journey, and congratulations.